Once again, the French take on a mighty coalition force. But this battle will not be won through brute force and pure strength, but rather deception. The French have devised a ruse, a little smoke and mirrors. Now this plan may be a risky one, but you know what they say, no risk, no reward. Will this risky plan work perfectly for the French, or will it completely fall apart and backfire in their face? There's only one way to find out. It sounds like we've got another online battle on Napoleonic Total War 3. Alright guys, welcome back to the battlefield. My name is Apollo, and once again we are playing NTW3. Thank you so much for stopping by. I just wanted to give a little shout out. Thank you so much for all the support on the last Napoleonic Total War 3 battle. It got a ton of likes. I think it was just short of 2,000, and so many comments, and there's so many positive comments, and it really just, it lifted my spirits, guys. I mean, you guys seem to really enjoy that battle, so hopefully we've got another great battle here today. So thank you guys. So once again, we have a 4-player team French army, some of them going different time periods of the French. Like for example, we've got 1799 French, I'm pretty sure that's the Italian army, and then we've got like 1811, which is the much later French Empire army. So yeah, we got a couple of variations. Now they are taking on a coalition of forces. We have the Holy Roman Empire, and then we've got 2 Russian players. One going, actually, you know what? Are they both going? I think they're both going about the same. No, they can't be. No, one's the Russian Empire. So one's 1799, the other one's a later Russian Empire, or Russian forces, 1807. And then we have the British. But more specifically, the words are hard. Peninsular Coalition. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So they're basically British with some Iberian flair. So yeah, as I mentioned in the intro of this battle, there's definitely going to be some deception here, which is really cool, guys. It makes this replay really exciting. So what do I mean by deception? How exactly can you create deception in Total War? Well, if The Art of War, the book, taught me anything, warfare is all based on deception. So it's actually really fitting that you can be deceptive in Total War. More specifically, this mod, because the way this deception is working is, well, let me explain it. You know how in this mod, you actually have to scout out your enemies to know where they are. The only force you do not have to scout out, and you can see where they are at all times, is the general. And you can use that against your opponent. So what the French players are doing here, by the way, they're setting up on this hill, getting ready to hold this defensive location. But anyways, what the French players are doing here is that they're actually sending 3 generals in this area. So if you look at the mini-map, guys, you can see 3 generals on the map right here, but there's only 2 armies. And by having 3 generals present in this area, it makes the enemy think that you're going in with 3 armies over here, and they're gonna have to commit 3 armies. But in reality, there's only 2 armies, and then 2 armies over here with the generals. So I think the plan here for the French is to overwhelm the British, who look like they're coming over to defend this area, overwhelm them before friendly reinforcements can arrive. And if you can take out an entire army without losing too many casualties, you're going to be looking pretty dang good. You're going to be looking really good. And that's another thing I want to mention. You might be thinking like, well, so what? Like, who cares if they trick them into thinking they have 3 armies here? They'll just quickly move over an army before this battle ends. Yeah, but in NTW3, just walking your troops makes them tired. So positioning and being at the right place at the right time is vital to the strength of your army. You do not want tired troops fighting in the front line. So that's going to be really, really important. Well, that's really important in this mod is what I meant to say. It's really important to have your troops in the right place, you know, ready to go. And if they're out of position and you're going to have to rush them to get to the different side of the battlefield, your troops are not going to be fighting very effectively. So what we have here is the French, and again, the 1799 French, the year 1799, they're one of the most mobile forces out of all the French armies. So they're very fast moving. You can see he's got a good diverse mix of cav here, protecting his horse artillery. Another very mobile artillery piece that you can quickly run up there and just kind of harass the enemy. Just say, hey, I'm here to harass you. I'm ready to go. He also is setting up 2 hussars down this road. Which is really cool. By the way, guys, this map is England. That's why it's so dark and gloomy. So it's pretty cool. It's like if Napoleon invaded England, this would be a great battle. Somehow all the coalitions were able to also arrive on the island to help defend England, which is not super unrealistic, but yeah, anyways, he's got 2 units of hussars. He's got the 5E hussars, and he has the 9E hussars. So he's using them to scout out enemy positioning and just trying to get an idea of what the British are up to. The British have some cav too to match the hussars. We've got some, we got the British 10th hussars, and we have the British 16th light dragoons. I just love the fact that almost every unit is unique in this mod. You know, they have their own regiment name and whatnot. So yeah, the British are maneuvering over. They've got some Portuguese soldiers here, which is badass. Look at that, that's cool. See some Portuguese on the battlefield. And then we've got the British foot as well. Also some more cav pushing this way. And it looks like he's gonna be going for this hill to defend against this French force. I don't think he really, oh, hold that phone, guys. Hold that thought. Here comes a cav charge, and he's going for the kill. He's going to charge the British hussars. Okay, wow, awesome play right there. Really, really good use of the fast-moving hussars. Completely got the British off guard. Now the Portuguese trying to fire at the back of the 5E hussars, but these hussars are going to be able to escape without completely routing off the battlefield. That was a huge, that's a pro play right there. That was a really gutsy play, a really risky play, and it paid off. Not only did you take out 2 British cav, now I think some of the cav will return, but not only did you break to the British cav, but you took out a very vital piece to the army. You took out an artillery piece. That was really huge right there, and good use of the hussars. That's how you use hussars, guys, on the battlefield. You got to be quick, you got to strike, and then you got to get out of there. Really, really good use of those hussars. Now, the other 2 French armies, because they're going to be outnumbered here, they're starting to take more of a defensive position. They do have this nice hill. And remember, guys, this battle is not necessarily about annihilating each other. It's about capturing these points. And that's the reason. That's another reason. Another thing I forgot to mention. That's the reason that the French are going double forces here instead of just 1. If they can take this 4 capture point and the enemy 4 capture point, they don't even have to worry about these cluster of capture points. They can just hold these 2 and win the round. So that's why I love this mod and having these point systems, because it makes for like attacks and counterattacks and defensive and being aggressive. It's awesome. So yeah, that's another reason why they're pushing hard here to try to take this 4-pointer and try to get a nice lead in points. French artillery. We got the artillery, foot artillery, basically. I gotta work on my French. But they're firing from the hillside. Really good firing here. They also have some cav kind of scouting out. It looks like he was thinking about going in for a charge, but the Russian Empire here, 1799, charging in as well, trying to scare them off. So a good use of the Russian cav, defending his artillery. And oh, that was so close to getting some great kills there on the Russians. So let's see. I don't think the British realize they're getting double teamed, or the Russians, because it seems like the Russians are still committing full force to this French side. So the Russians are going center here. It looks like the Holy Roman Empire is kind of flanking around the left from their point of view. We do have some Jaeger here that are going to try to skirmish and kind of harass the French as they hold this hill. which I think it's going to be pretty smart. You really want to put as much pressure, especially when you're playing against a defensive player. You really want to try to envelop him. You want to try to get around him and flank around him and just try to cause him to spread out as much as possible. The French are holding up in this building, which is cool. Let's see what else is going on here on this side, because this is really the most critical point of the battle right now. You can see that he's pushed up a lot of cav, and the reason he's doing this is because he's setting up his artillery. He's setting up his artillery so he can continue to keep the British at bay as the rest of the infantry make their way. And I'm a poet and I didn't know it. So yeah, you can see it's really laggy over here because there's like 1 million troops clumped up here. Okay, not quite 1 million, but you know what I mean. And I think this is the point where the French players agree to branch apart. So we have one French army, and it looks like this French player is also sending some support that way as well. It looks like he's sending some grenadiers over to that side and some sappers. So he's going to have this force to push this is going to be the hardest point of attack, I think. Pushing up this hill against the British lines. Oh, wait, what's this? There's a cav charge going after the general. The general is out of position, and the French, oh my God. They break the British general. Now, he did not die. He's fleeing over here. He's still surviving here. But he might return, but that's a huge morale loss for the British army. Good use. Again, 12E Hussars. The French are doing a great job with their Hussars. They've gotten their money back from these Hussars, basically. They've taken out an artillery piece. They weakened the British cav. They took out the general. That's insane. Are they shattered? No, they're just routing, so they should return. Should return to the battle. But at this point, we see that the Russians are sending over, it appears to be like their guard force. I'm seeing a lot of grenadiers and some, a lot of grenadiers. Lots and lots of grenadiers. They look awesome, though. I love the uniforms. So that tells me that they realize that the French are double teaming the British at this point. And this is the critical moment. Were the French fast enough? Or are the French too late? Is this Russian support that you see here going to be enough to hold? Now, I do know one thing. The French need to hurry up before the Russians send over more reinforcements, or this is going to be a complete waste of a struggle. They've got to get to that front line, and they've got to push these British off the hill and send them back away from the capture point. So yeah, I think they realized that they're getting double teamed here, which is huge. Either they saw that the French look kind of weak over here, or somehow they spotted both French armies pushing over to that side. So this is on this front, it's a very cat and mouse game. You've got the Holy Roman Empire. And remember, the French may outnumber the British, but the French are outnumbered over here as well, and maybe the coalition forces are going to try to use that against them. So you've got the Holy Roman Empire. He's mostly pushing on the flank. You can see he's pushing cav, trying to get behind the French, trying to cause some issues in the back lines, really just trying to stretch out the French lines so they can use their superior numbers and break through the French. We do have some Jaeger here opening fire at the French who are forming up over here. But let's go back over to the other side, because this is where things get really interesting. So because of the Russian reinforcements, the British are now able to defend more area. Nice little artillery hit there, though. They are able to defend more area, so they're going to now take the peak of this hill and use that against the French. And the French are going to back up a little bit. I think they're going to kind of analyze the situation. They don't want to get into a tricky situation. And look at how thick these lines are. They're kind of resting here in the tree line, waiting, lurking in the trees, ready for the command. And let me show you something really cool. Napoleon is right here fighting. He's part of the 58E, which is really cool, because in the Italian campaign, he often was on foot fighting in the front lines with his men. So many times throughout Napoleon's career, he put himself in like killing zone. You know, he didn't sit back. He put himself in the front line and could have been killed multiple times. But you know, he believed that he had this destiny. He was destined for greatness. And you know, I personally don't believe in destinies or per se, but you know, it's that confidence that he had that really made him, not be hesitant, be very, be very direct about his decision making. And also the fact that he put his life on the line, like, that's insane. That is crazy. Oh, it looks like we're having the sound glitch here, guys. You saw that volley from the French. Yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of a sound glitch, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. All right, guys, so that should have done the trick there. So now the French are pushing forward, and they're gonna try to get as many muskets firing down on the Russians and the British. This is gonna be, well, quite literally an uphill battle, guys. I mean, it's gonna be a tough situation for them as they push forward against the British and the Russian forces. They're also moving up their artillery, trying to get that in range, trying to use probably canister shot, if not doing the normal rounds, and just trying to weaken them that way. And boom, there we go. Love the musket sound in this mod. It is absolutely gorgeous. It sounds so cool. The crackle of guns. We have artillery firing, shelling on the French position, and I believe Napoleon here. Look at that. That is so. I love the fact that the player is using Napoleon as if it's history. He's not sitting back with them. He's not trying to keep him alive. He's got him in the front ranks, ready to fight with his fellow Frenchmen. I know Napoleon wasn't French, but close enough. He had the spirit of a Frenchman. Okay, so the French are getting even closer. Remember, the closer you are, the more accurate you are, and the more deadly your volleys can be. But again, that makes them more accurate as well because they're closer. And they do have a hill here. Let's real quick see what the other French army is doing. He's still setting up. He's not pushing forward, but he might try to push on the flank here and try to get on the side of the British because they're weaker on this front. They're thinned out. They're much thicker over here. And just look at the bird's eye view of this struggle. It's pretty epic. At the same time, he's swinging around some sappers and some grenadiers, or sappers. Sappers? It's sappers, my bad. Some sappers and some grenadiers. And look at Napoleon's unit pushing on the flank. He's getting hit with artillery. He's pushing forward. And the French are doing this like, it's like the opposite of kiting. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Napoleon's regiment gets hit with the cannonball, but Napoleon's still in the game. But they're doing the opposite of kiting, where they get some volleys, they push forward, they get some volleys, and then they push forward. So, oh, look at that. Ooh. Look how close Napoleon is to dying, man. That is insane. So the Grenadiers pushing on the flank. We got some Russian cav on the flank. Real quick, let's do some slow motion so we don't miss anything. But yeah, over here, there's also a bit of a firefight. The Russian Empire, 1799, pushing forward. The French have a nice advantage here in terms of positioning and numbers. Over here, the French are holding onto this building, which gives them a nice defense. Russians pushing on this. This is the 1799 Russians pushing on that side. And then the French are stretched out. Look at this. Look how crazy this is. The French constantly trying to mirror the Holy Roman Empire, trying to prevent them from being able to flank around their position. And get behind their forces. So this is the critical moment right here, guys. The French going in with a glorious charge of bayonets and grenadiers. It's a little blobbed up, but hopefully they don't get hit with artillery. Look at this. This is glorious, guys. Nothing like seeing French grenadiers charging. So a really beautiful bayonet charge, and the Russians are trying to counter it by sending over some dragoons, but the French were able to break the Russian lines and quickly turn around and face these dragoons. Though the dragoons are breaking some of the units here, and we also have some French lines turning about face and firing their muskets and now charging in as well. These French are madmen, and they're breaking the Russian reinforcements. The British are now peeling some units and trying to reasset their lines, reassemble their lines here to hold against this French blob. Now French cav charging in. We got the 10E Chasseur Cheval charging in. Oh, but the British, the King German Legion, hold their ground, forming square and breaking the French cap, but that's okay. The French infantry, oh, look, more French cap. We got the 5 Hussars. We saw them earlier taking out that artillery, now going after the Russian dragoons that was harassing the French. And now the French are also pushing in the center with bayonets as well. They're going full in here with their bayonets. And just look how crazy this battlefield is, guys. It's so chaotic right now. In a matter of minutes, the French were able to knock the Russian and the British on this part of the hill, but they still have a lot of hill to clear here, and they just keep charging in like madmen. And it seems like the British and the Russians are trying to get out of there, but they can't escape the wrath of the French. And here comes even more 16E line. Oh my god, that was a crazy charge. And just like that, the British are on the run. They're trying everything they can to set up and get some volleys off, but there you go, they got a couple volleys there, trying to fire at the French who are just charging in like a bunch of psychopaths down this hill and just thrusting their bayonets into their stomachs. It's an insane situation right here, guys. They do break some of the French. I think the French are kind of pushing a little too hard right now, but I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to completely wipe them off this hill. And here we go, even more French coming in. And look at this, they're charging from the tree line as well. Oh my god, they're gonna sandwich the British in. They're closing the door. Let me just do some slow motion here. Look at this. So because we had this French army that was keeping so many British occupied, the French, this was the closing door, this hill. And then once they took the hill, they were completely behind the French army. You can see there's some French way down here as well. Grenadiers. Oh my god, this is insane. And look at, now the British are just like, oh, sorry, that's fast forward. The British are just charging forward because they have nowhere else to go. And they're just going to try to do as much damage to this army. And the French are just going to stand their ground. And they break them right before their bayonets meet them. And there's a massive break. And the French are not going to let them get out of here and, you know, recover and come back into the battle. The French are now going to countercharge. Well, not countercharge, but charge the breaking British. And, wow. That was insane, guys. Look at this battlefield. In a matter of minutes, like even like maybe 2 minutes max, they cleared this battlefield. Now they got to be careful because we do have some British that probably returned from routing. They are getting pretty close to the French artillery, but that was such a great move right there. Really great timed assault, and they completely shattered the British and the Russian Guard forces. So now they're at a huge disadvantage. The French now control this area of the battlefield with very healthy numbers. I think the French only lost a couple units there, if even. They probably returned to the battle after routing. But my god, I mean, that feels like Napoleon right there, guys. I mean, that seems like Napoleon would orchestrate an aggressive charge like that to break the British. I mean, we've seen it so many times in his career, and that was fantastic. That was really, really exciting. So let's go back over here. We are missing quite a bit over here, but it's hard to really get all of what's going on. It doesn't seem like anything too crazy. I think the French are just being defensive here, and that's what all they need to be. Because their allies are winning on the other side, all they have to do here is hold and wait for their French reinforcements to arrive. And it looks like the Holy Roman Empire is pushing a little bit. There's a bit of a gap here. Now, it seems like he's defending the gap with his dragoons. We got the 2nd E dragoons trying to protect this gap. Just make sure nothing charges in here, gets behind line infantry or anything like that. But I think the French should go ahead and just hold their ground. Maybe even get a little aggressive here. Not too aggressive. You don't want to lose your army. Or you know, if you lose your army here, you pretty much destroy everything what your allies worked for. So just stay conservative, stay patient, and wait for your allies. And it seems like in most cases, it looks like the defending French on this side is doing exactly that. But the real question is what's going to happen here. Already the French are moving out and trailing the defeated Russians here, who are trying to head back to friendly forces and trying to regroup their army. Now, is this over for the coalition? No, absolutely not. It's not over. They can definitely pull off a nice little victory here. It's an uphill battle. I mean, literally and metaphorically, it's an uphill battle because of this hill. But they can pull off. I mean, I've seen it before. People have taken out entire armies with a glorious cav charge. And that's all. I think the Holy Roman Empire, I think a lot of responsibility is going to be placed on the Holy Roman Empire. Oh, what's this? Oh, we got some Freikorps. The Free Corps. So they're getting some nice shots off on the French lines here. They're pushing up even more line infantry. These are actually Hungarian and German grenadiers. We got some more grenadiers pushing. Look at this. They're pushing on the flank, so they're definitely trying to use this gap here against the French, and that's a good move there. Now, I don't know if this is a trap. I don't know if the French are planning something sneaky here, but we'll see how this plays out. It looks like he might be like lurking a trap, setting up a trap here with his dragoons waiting in reserve. But yeah, the French are going to actually peel a unit of infantry to match the Hungarian grenadiers. Or, yeah, Hungarian, yeah. Alright, so this is going to be huge, guys. I mean, for the coalition to turn this around, they've got to do something quick here. I think if they're too passive, they're not going to pull anything off. They can't be passive. Now, the good news is that the French are being very defensive here. The bad news is that for the coalition most likely is going to have to fight this army. Because like I said, guys, it's a 4-pointer. There's 4 points right here, okay? So they can't afford to lose that. That or they somehow try to push and try to take this 4-point capture point over here and then have control of some of the regions in the center. It's a really tricky situation, guys, but we'll see what happens here. I think Austria is going all in. This is going to be huge, guys, right here. If Austria doesn't make some progress here and defeat the French in front of them, I really don't think the coalition will have enough to turn this around. So I think this moment that we're seeing right here is one of the more critical moments of the battle. Uh-oh. So a nice aggressive cav charge by the French. It makes the Austrian charge here stutter a little bit, and it looks like they're kind of out of organization here. They are forming square. They're trying to overwhelm the French here with a French hold against the Freikorps. Now they are getting outflanked though. They might want to fall back and reset their lines. Let's see what's going on here. What are the Austrians doing? They need to turn and fire. What are they doing? Why are they just... I guess he's microing over here as well. That might be the situation, because he is pushing pretty hard with his units. Maybe that was a bit of diversion. It definitely distracted me, where now he's pushing on this flank. And oh my god, big cav engagement here, but it looks like the Holy Roman Empire is losing. I don't know. Hold on. Hold on. They're actually breaking... Oh, but more French reinforcements are coming in. God, I love the cav play in this mod. The cav units are just so massive. Oh, they break the Holy Roman Empire. And they're going to send another cav charge just to seal the deal. Oh, the Holy Roman Empire charging in their general. We got Dagbert von Versmer. Is that close? They actually are going to, charge in the general, break the French cav. That's actually pretty big there. It's a risky charging in their general like that. That was pretty big. And now the French are falling back. Yeah, that's a smart move. Why push forward? Just constantly kite the Austrians. And look at this. Or I mean the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman Empire is breaking the center. So this is good. The Holy Roman Empire doing what they can. But the French, I don't know. I feel like the French are doing a pretty good job of keeping his troops alive. But that balance of power is still not out of control. Sure, it's in favor of the French, but it's still anyone's game. Now, the French are going to be aggressive here, which makes sense. There's really no need to be so defensive on this side. He might as well go in for the kill. Take out the Russians because, once again, you have the enemy forces surrounded on two fronts. We've got this front here. You've got this front over here, which is weak, the French force, and they are getting harassed by artillery. But it's something. And they're even pushing this way as well. Look at that. The French being so aggressive. Love the variation in the uniforms. Yeah, this is smart. The Russians need to just fall back. They just don't have enough troops to cover all this ground. And what the French could even do here, I'm not sure where they're going with this French force. Maybe sending it over this way to support against the Holy Roman Empire, because the Holy Roman Empire is making some great ground. Again, guys, this is what the coalition forces needed to win this one. So that might be where the French forces are kind of peeling and going towards. Come on, Austria. Line up your men properly. I think he's watching over such a huge stretch of ground. He's making a couple micro mistakes. But that's okay. Austria is doing what they can, or the Holy Roman Empire. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Holy Roman Empire doing what they can. So just for time's sake, we're going to speed it up a little bit and just see how this progresses. We do have some artillery opening fire on the Russians, this Russian line. The French are really trying to make some ground here, trying to speed up so the Russians can't really retreat anymore, and they have to kind of hold their ground, which it looks like they're doing. French are actually falling back over on this side. Okay, so let's go back to normal speed. Looks like we have a Russian. Yeah, he's going for the artillery, which is undefended. Slightly undefended. And I think they're going to be able to take it out. Oh, no. Okay, well, they do break. Okay, they pretty much took it out. This cav unit breaks, though. I love that. I love how timid the cav is because it feels very realistic when you go in for a cav charge. They're not going to just suicide charge every time. They're going to go in, and if things start to seem really bad, they'll just break. They'll come back to the battle, but they'll break, and you can use them at a later time in the fight. All right, I hear another cav force. Oh, yeah, the Russians are coming back for more. See what I mean? They came back from breaking. I'm not sure what their plan is here. They're going to die from those line infantry. What are you doing, Russians? Get out of there. Yeah, he's going to fall back. It looks like we had a little charge from the French. We got the 103E going, I think, for the artillery, but they just quite couldn't get it. So a very gutsy move there by the French, but it wasn't enough. And there we go. The French are moving up. And I think finally we're going to have a nice line battle. Artillery opening fires. The French do have another artillery piece. Okay, cool. So, yeah, the French are definitely peeling their units and going back this way. Because what's happening here is that the Austrians know that the defense of this capture point right here is light. So the Austrians are going to push and try to force their way through the French lines and get to this point and capture this. I think that's the strategy of the Holy Roman Empire. All right. Oh, we got a French cav charge. 23E Dragoons going after the general of the Holy Roman Empire, and he breaks him. Most likely will kill him here on the battlefield. But the Holy Roman Empire sending over some Dragoons. as well. We got more grenadiers from the Holy Roman Empire, but they're going to be surrounded by French lines, and I think they're just rushing to get to the capture point, and they're just going to try to hold that with the grenadiers, possibly. But you can see the French are falling back in the same location. It's a race, guys. It's a race to that building. That's hilarious. Now we got some... This is bizarre. This seems almost kind of desperate from the Holy Roman Empire. Oh, there they go. Oh, wait, Allied General killed. Oh, wow. Yeah, oh my god. They kill the French general. That's a pretty big win right there. And this is no longer a front line. This is a mosh pit of forces. Look, oh, French, are they charging in? Nope, nope, they're thinking about it. Oh no, they're going in. So now we've got the Holy Roman Empire just completely, oh, nice little charge here from the Grenadiers. Completely kind of surrounded as the Holy Roman Empire makes this almost like parade-like march to the capture point worth 4 points. And he's trying, man. He's trying to get his Grenadiers in one piece over there. But the French, look at this. There's just no way, guys. The French are sending over their reserves. Look at that. Look, they are full speed ahead, trying to get over here and defend their building. So yeah, that's going to be very unfortunate for the Austrians who are making this very noble but desperate dash to get to this capture point on this side. So I think the French are going to be able to defend that. Austrians still trying to keep the French over here occupied. We do have a nice little fight here. It looks like the Russians are actually making some ground. Let's see what's going on this side. Oh my god, what's happening here? I think we kind of missed some action here, guys, but actually it looks like the French are just kind of leaving this area. Yeah, it looks like they're all going to that side. All right, here's some cav. Oh, random Russian cav unit charging into a square. That's no good. It's another general, I believe. Yeah, it's a general. Wait, is it? No, okay. All right, so he's pushing forward, going with the rest of his troops. The troops are just chilling over here. And, you know, honestly, guys, I mean, I don't want to say it's over because I certainly, like, look at the balance of power. It's not over. It's definitely not over, but I think the Holy Roman Empire needs to slow down here. Now, for some reason, most battles are played with an hour timer. Because it makes players not sit and wait as much. It seems like there's no timer here, so they have unlimited time. Now, I don't think the battle will go on forever. I guess you guys will know by looking at the length of the battle. But, yeah, I mean, it seems like the coalition forces, they need to regroup here, reorganize, and make a counterattack. Make a push where the French are weak. I think they're just too spread out. They're too divided. They really got to try to make a move here. We got some Lancer cav. I think these are some Kazakh cav. Going for a charge. I think they're going for the 103rd E. As they push forward. They should break them. So that's going to be one less French regiment you're going to have to worry about. Maybe. They might return. We got more Russian lines over here. Oh, getting picked apart, it looks like, by the French artillery. We got some grenadiers from the Russian Empire. The Russians are now making a push for this hill. This is good. This is good. The Russian Empire still has some healthy units here. Still making a push. And they're getting their troops up to the top of this hill. The French are definitely outmaneuvered. Outmaneuvered. Oh my god, am I having a stroke? Outmaneuvered. Maneuvered. Whatever. They're out of position. They're outnumbered. So I think the Russians should be able to take this hill. Look, they're already breaking here. So this is a nice little win for the coalition and exactly what they need to turn this battle around. Oh, they took a building. Wait, no way. Oh, the Austrians took the building. Okay, well, what's in here? Grenadiers? Oh my god, they have grenadiers in here. I don't think they're gonna hold here, but at the very least, with the grenadiers in close combat, they should be able to hold back the French for a little while and maybe inflict some casualties on their army, do some damage. That's hilarious. That is hilarious that the Austrians have taken this hill, or this house here. That's amazing. Back over here, we got a nice little line battle. This is actually pretty epic, but unfortunately, the Austrians are outnumbered, outpositioned. And I think, yeah, they might have to go for like a bayonet charge or something. I don't know. The French seem kind of thin here compared to the Holy Roman Empire numbers. And the French are desperately trying to hold here. Nice little push by the Russians. Artillery getting danger close into, you know, enemy range. They definitely need some troops to defend this. Are the French going to send anything to help them out? Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're falling back because the Russians are now making a move for this capture point as well. So the Russians are going to try to turn this around. I just don't think they have it in them. This is a nice little push here by the Russians. They know that they've got to capture one of these buildings. And they notice that the French are kind of moving away from this area. But again, guys, they have 3 units in here. What's in here? Grenadiers. Grenadiers and more Grenadiers. One being veteran Grenadiers. Even if he gets to this building without being like harassed too much with healthy numbers, he's gonna have to take on 3 Grenadiers that have entrenched themselves in, ready to defend. Look at that. Look at that. So that's gonna be a really, really tough situation for the Russians as they continue to push for that capture point. And yeah. And there we go. The French are surrounding this building. They're not even charging in. Oh, well, he might be charging in now, but he's just kind of opening fire at the windows. Yeah, no, I mean, what's the need, all right? Like, why risk so many lives when you can just fire at the openings of the windows and just take out the troops from afar? So we got some breaking troops over here. More French forces headed over. Yeah, finally, the French are sending over a relief force to help against this this poor French force here that's outnumbered. And I'm sure he switched to canister shot here. Let's see if he can. Ooh, you know, he might get a couple good volleys here. They need to hurry up though. Get some. hear the men screaming. All right, here we go. Oh no! Fire! Yeah, definitely using canister shot. Getting a couple kills, but not nearly enough. The Russians are going to play it smart here. Just stay back. I'm not sure why he's attacking in column. That seems dangerous. I guess maybe it's because it will kill, like canister shot will kill less men. You know, I think this is actually pretty smart from the Russians. I like this. So canister shot, especially at this distance, is not super strong and will only go through about 1 layer of men. But if you have your men stretched out, it could probably kill more men because you have more men in that first layer. You get what I'm saying? So I think this is actually really smart taking on this game. Now, if he was much closer, that would be dangerous. But yeah, the French are desperately holding on against this Russian force. French reinforcements on their way, trying to quickly get over there. Let's see what's happening over here with the Austrians. Whoa! Whoa! What's this? We got some German grenadiers trying to save their comrades, but it's not going to be enough, and the French have decided to just charge in. Enough of this, enough playing around. Charging in some grenadiers. Yeah, now there's multiple units of French in this building, and they're going to be able to take this building. Is the Holy Roman Empire defeated? Yes, it looks like the Holy Roman Empire is now defeated, guys. And I think at this point, unless this Russian player is just a pure genius mastermind, I don't think they're going to be strong enough to take out the rest of the French armies. You know, we're going to need a military genius. The Russians are now pushing for this building. It doesn't look good though. The Russians, I mean, they're going to try to do their best to cap this. Because, again, there's no timer, but maybe there was a timer during the battle. If the Russians can somehow take this building and they hold some of the buildings. Actually, no, the French hold this building. Okay, never mind. And look, they didn't even take out this artillery yet. And the French reinforcements are going to get there in time. And look, he's just walking. He's walking. He's keeping his men fresh. He knows this isn't super urgent. If he loses the French army here, it's no big deal. And the French are holding strong here on this hill. Very nice. I like. And there we go. The Russians are now going to be caught here. And the French with like multiple regiments about to open up on the flank of these grenadiers. And he's going to evacuate out of there. He's getting out of there. Oh, man. Just no luck for the coalition. Grenadiers opening fire at the Russians who are now trying to make a push. Uh-oh. Another general has fallen. Sir Craven. Oh, no. Oh, wait. No. Okay. I thought it was Napoleon. I thought it was Napoleon. But yeah, the Russians are caught in between two forces. Now they're charging into melee. He's got some guard forces going in. Going after the French Grenadiers. 3 units of the French Grenadiers, I might add. And then right behind them are some French. So this is another desperate push to try to take this building. We'll see how that progresses. Let's go back over to this center line because this is where things are getting interesting. Russians still trying to take out this artillery, but I mean their men on the flank are just getting wiped out. Why is he in these weird columns? I mean, I understand the columns taking on this artillery, but now, yep, now we got French charging in over here. And I think, guys, this is the nail in the coffin. I think, yeah, we're just going to speed it up here a little bit. The Russians trying to turn and quickly face these guys. But I think, without a doubt, yeah, with this force surrounding, yeah, it's over, guys. It's over. The coalition has been defeated. They've conquered this building. Over on this side, the Russians are falling apart. This side, the other Russian army is falling apart as well. And, well, actually, they're putting up a decent fight in the center. And the Russians are trying to escape the wrath of the French. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, guys, is skip to the end results. I think you guys are more than confident in knowing that the French are going to win this one. And they are holding this building. The Russians are now being, let me just play it real quick. Now being fired at. He's got 2 units over here. So this battle is a wrap. And honestly, guys, I think it was won as soon as the French took out the British army and the French small force of guard forces. It was won right after that. Now, the Austrian, or the Holy Roman Empire still had a chance and everything, but it wasn't going to be enough. And look at this, the glorious last charge. We might as well watch this. Charge! Charge! And that's going to be it, guys. That's going to be the battle. Alright, guys, here we are at the results. Thank God I fast forward through that because there's just like, they just didn't want to give up with like 1 unit. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, here, look at the French. They did fantastic here. Sir Craven getting 1,444. I think this is sent in by Dan the Old Tree. I don't know. Usually I assume it's the first player on here, but maybe it was sent by Dan the Old Tree. I don't know. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, thank you for the replay. Thank you, everyone here in this battle. It was fantastic. Really, really good fight here. Really cool deception that played out perfectly. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, share, and of course, subscribe for more epic battles. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield.